right? Student development. If they feel that look, Momo Cyrus is that kind of the one, who am I? I will be serving at the will and pleasure of the people. So, but I'm not going to the Senate because I want to be a senator. I don't have to be a senator.
So are you contemplating going to election in 2023?
If the people decide, we have a team of friends of Cyrus. We have Lufians. They are going to conventions soon. If they decide that Mr. Cyrus goes back and contests, who am I? When it comes to Lofa, I got no authority. When I said I wasn't going to serve as steering committee chairperson for the Lofa County Steering Committee, Sports Steering Committee, I've been there for 4 years. I've delivered what I was mandated to do. When the country came back to me, that they have tried all the Lufians and it was getting difficult for them to get somebody to take the helm or the authority at the level of the steering committee. The superintendent and other citizens of Lofa County pleaded with me. I said, look, it has to be Lofa. I will go back. So far as Lofa, look, I will risk my business, I will risk my money, I will do whatever it takes. So far, Lofa benefits, I will do it.
I will do it. Okay, let's go into your profession now. Like I said, you are an experienced and you've been around in the security sector for a while now. You've been advocating for this strong relationship with the national security. Making sure that your private security and national security having that cooperation in moving the sector forward. Where are we now on that?
So, but this is one of the most important questions that you have asked me this morning. So, but I get up in the morning thinking Liberia security. I sleep in the night thinking Liberia security. Look, so but the private security for which I am in, and as one of the leaders, play a significant role in the security of our state.
Okay.
And I have been opportune to travel extensively in Africa and beyond Africa, observing, monitoring, and learning from other countries' private security sector. Look, let me say this over. We need to understand that private security has transformed in a positive way than it used to be in the 70s. The government of the Republic of Liberia is benefiting from the private security sectors at different fronts at a different level. Firstly, many years back, private security was not contributing revenue. Today, private security is contributing from a statistics 50 to 20%, if not 22% of revenue that is being generated by the Liberian Revenue Authority. That is very key. Today, the private security has been able to employ almost 70% of those able working related people in the country. That's very significant. But what is the private security getting back? Now, the way to do it and the way my suggestions is being preferred based on my experience and my observation from other and my research from other countries, we need to not privatize, but we need to regulate the private security. Brother, if we don't do that, the private security institutions are being abused by the client. They just chunk anything in the way of the private security, in as much of the labor being, intensive. Now, we need to, ensure that we, regulate the private security. Rules and regulations are laid down that will benefit the private security institutions themselves, the government, and even the workers that are working for the private security. Look, we are leaders. Our people are not happy. Not because we want to be bad leaders, but because the way the private security is being structured don't give us the opportunity to actually give our people what they deserve. Right? Pricing are very, very discouraging. Look, if and only if we can standardize the private security, I can tell you Liberia will benefit from that standardization. The companies themselves will benefit, and even the employees, most importantly, will benefit.
No,
but the way it stands right now, we are under the Ministry of Justice, Public Safety Department. I think those laws and regulations that were crafted 30 years, 40 years back doesn't anymore represent the present reality. We need to go back and look at the laws and be able to, re-amend them to compare and to understand the present reality, the way private security has transformed, and so that those laws can commensurate with the present reality.
Now, Mr. Cyrus, there's something that you've been desiring and you've been talking about over and over. What is it that is taking long for the regulation of the sector to be done?
This is where I wouldn't give up. The private security institutions will not give up. And one day, I'm sure somebody will hear us. We'll keep knocking doors. The Bible says, when you knock, the door will be open. When you seek, you will find. We will keep seeking, we'll keep knocking doors. I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to sit with the Minister of Justice in his office, and I was able to do this. I have gone to discuss other issues with him, but I had the opportunity to meet him as an Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. So I threw this by across his table and said, we need to look at it. And he consented. It's just a willpower in the organization. And look, I can see a government, and those of you who are in the media, those of you who are policy makers, the lawmakers, let's look at it, let's study it, let's pick it up. I've been advocating, I will not stop advocating.
So how is it supposed to start? What's the process in getting it started?
The government need to take ownership of this. I've said that we can't do anything unless the government say, look, I've heard you enough. You have spoken so loudly. Come and say to us, what do you think we can do? What are the way forward? And the way forward first is to have a meeting, is to have a meet of the mind with the Ministry of Justice, who happen to be the regulatory arm right now of the private security institutions. Without the Ministry of Justice...
But you say you met the Minister of Justice.
Yes, meeting him and talking about it does not translate into action. He needs to be encouraged to talk to his people who are responsible himself and to take the lead to help him as a general. I'm seeing the private security are helping government maintain the peace. If he went up at night, the visibility of police is the minimum. You see huge visibility of private security in different organizations in different places. So we are contributing to that. Why can't we just have a conversation where we can be able to, in fact, elevate our performance and elevate our duty? I talk about intelligence sharing. Look, the information we got of private security, the national security does not have the ability to influence, because
You're sure of that?
I'm very sure, because we are static and things are passing by us that we're taking note of. So we need to have that relationship for the government to benefit. I've said it time without number. I will not relent. We will not get tired. We'll speak to it until somebody somewhere will listen to us and will say, look, it's time for the conversation.
Now, when you talk about regulating the private security sector and strengthening the relationship with the government, what do you mean when you talk about that?
Get it off the Ministry of Justice. Let it be an institution by itself. We got the regulatory body, the medical. I mean, different regulatory bodies are in town. I am seeing with the way we have transformed, get it off the Ministry of Justice from a department called the Public Safety Department, make it as a body where we have commissioners who will sit and discuss the progress of the institution or of the sector day-to-day basis, and bring in transformation and bring in dynamism. That is the point. Let's get it from the Ministry of Justice. Let's get it. The Ministry of Justice, quote unquote, can serve as, that supervisory body, but let's get it and make it as a body where, look, the private security is contributing. It's $1 billion industry. A lot of companies are coming in country right now. Are we standardized enough to be able to meet the demands of international companies? We got ArcelorMittal here. Those people have got standards. They don't just take any security company. We have security companies who have not even reached where they have monetary rooms. In other countries like Kenya, I just give up Kigali, most private security are mandated to have a monetary room. Do we have it yet? No. It has to be self-initiated. It has to be somebody who has an innovator like myself, who decides like there's a need. So I am going out there and looking at things with other private security and innovating. But are we in the numbers who are innovating to standard that private security? No. How many are we?
So let me ask, and
let me just end on this note before you ask. If we don't do that now, with the level of investment and people are looking at Liberia in the future, we might be even overwhelmed to support them in terms of private security. They will start looking outside to bring private security institutions because those companies, international companies that are coming, have got standard. You have to have standard to be able to participate in the private security. So when the foreign Liberians have not reached up to that standard, has not got that standard, they will look outside. Do we want that? No.
How many private security firms do we have now?
Well, from statistics, we are growing. We are over 150 private security companies registered and paying taxes to Liberian government.
So then what do you mean by when you are not regulated?
We are not regulated because there is no standard rules about the operation of private security. Some of those things that need to be put in place that will enable that we standardize. The Ministry of Justice is too busy doing other things. We are saying, look, take the whole private security thing for the Ministry of Justice, have a regulatory body, sit somewhere where you have commissioners that would run the day-to-day activities and make sure that every private security have meet certain level of standard to perform. In the absence of that, we will lose the market. Because when the international company comes and we don't have the standard, they will look outside. That would be very embarrassing to us.
Is it against this backdrop, Mr. CYRUS, that some of the private security firms do underpay their people? Is it against this background?
It has to be largely against this background because most of the clients are not paying the fees that will enable the private security company to compensate their workers properly. So that is one of the reasons why we see it should be regulated. Pricing is very important. There must be uniformity in pricing, but the pricing is now dependent on the client, what he wants, what he or she wants to pay. That should not be the case. They got categories of services that we're rendering. So. And the interesting thing about it is that because we're so desperate in the private security, if SIGA as an institution refuse this contract for maybe because of pricing, another company is about to take it for even lower because they want, the business. But that is not helping us because what they're doing is undermining the standard of the company. Because if I bring you standard to the table and you refuse this standard for substandard thing because you want to pay less, but the national government through this regulatory body for private security will make sure that those things are abundant. Before you give a contract, in our mind, if it's structured, the regulatory body has to be signatory to that contract. So the terms and conditions in that contract, the regulatory body will have known what is there so that you can't even pay your employees because the regulatory body will know the value of that contract and they'll be mandated to say if you get this contract at this price, the security company, the security agents, or those who implementing the contract, that is the guys, must get this pay. But that is not being done.
You seem to be the lone voice who's advocating this. You don't hear heads of other private security firms talking about this.
I am the acting chairperson of the Liberal Private Security Association.
Okay.
So I'm speaking in my position as acting chair, right? So we have been discussing this thing here. What I'm discussing has been discussed behind the scene in our own private security meetings.
It has met the approval of your
Yes. We all are suffering latches. I'm advocating on behalf of the private security company. We all have the similar problem. We all feel the similar pinch. So what I'm seeing here is all geared for improving the private security companies, where my colleagues who have got private security companies have agreed with me that this is the way to go.
Now, I'll be opening the lines very shortly, but let's assume that your advocacy yields this sort of desired result. We do have the regulation of the private security. How much benefit does that bring to the country?
Okay, so very good question, Sorbor. Firstly, the issue of tax. Government will benefit when it comes to tax because every contract that we secure, government got 10% of the value of that contract. So the value of that contract matters. So if this contract was $100,000, and maybe because of the regulatory body, it goes to $200,000. Government was benefiting $10,000. Government begin to benefit $200,000. That's government portion of it. Now, the private security that was being paid maybe $75 could probably be paid $150. That private security company will ensure that the private security has got social security. It's very important. We are in harm's way. The job we do, very dangerous. Many times our guys are in harm's way. So there's no social security because the country doesn't allow that, right? We're talking about other benefits. Look, the private security will sit and with the national government and will say, these are, with our experience, these are our challenges. And that particular regulatory body will be opportune to work with it. So the security companies will benefit. So I think it's a triangle kind of thing. The government benefits, the private security benefit, the guys, most importantly, who are the executor of these contracts will benefit. So it's a huge thing. It's a good thing for the country. It's a good thing for the private security companies. It's a good thing for our citizens who are participating in private security, arrangement as security guys and security officers.
0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987. Or better still, 0880 514 096. Let's take this first call on the line. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
My name is CYRUS. I'm calling from Sukuni.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you, just English.
Okay.
I want to ask you for help me.
Okay. Let's talk about this one. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Okay, this is Ed Lauren Babo calling you from Lovakante, Koya District 1 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, let me appreciate my nephew in studio. The way he speaks this morning is proving to all that he loves Lovakante. But let me just advise him, the well race to get him, he will not give up. One day he shall be senator, even more than he is senator of Lovakante. Look at what he can do it. So we say follow him step by step. But the question to him this morning, why rapport you have with Lovakante Coco? Thank you this morning.
Okay. The rapport he has with Luffolk County Caucus. Okay. You taking notes? Okay, you can take notes and then later on you respond to all those concerns. Good morning.
Good morning, Zaba. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning to the chief in studio there with you. As I'm speaking, my name is Moses Johnson and I call from Single this morning. As I'm speaking to you, I'm hosting. I'm post now at the Aluminum factory here. I don't get the chief talking about the 12 hours securities are running here. 12 hours, that is too much. 12 hours. He has taken over all the security now. 12 hours. If he, I don't know whether he's the chairman of one for the security association whatsoever, they need to stop that. 12 hours from the morning until the next morning for just $90? It's too much.
Seriously. Seriously.
Okay.
This is serious.
Okay, he will talk about that. He will talk about that further. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, insurance here. I'm from MOMO, MOMO's house. The three of me.
Go ahead quickly now.
Yeah, see, insurance here. I'm going to please help me.
Okay, well, what?
Energy.
Okay.
They give a number.
Where number?
My wife, you're downstairs. 87,
Uh-huh.
77, 03.
Okay, your name?
My name is CYRUS.
Okay, that's Sarah's calling Sarah. Good morning.
You definitely get
Good morning.
supposed, Cyrus.
Yes, good morning, sir. Let's hear from you.
My name is Moses Bala. I'm here from Lofa, specifically Sigida.
Okay.
I'm so happy to hear my brother this morning. I happen to be the president of the Sigida Development Association, and I was told when Mr. Cyrus was running his campaign, he visited Sigida and visited our health center construction site. And he made some promises to us, he encouraged us, and he asked that we support him. If he won the election, we're going to support us. So what I want to tell you this morning is, do not give up. We are monitoring your interventions. We are looking at the progress we are making to ensure that we Luffians can unite ourselves to move the country forward. One thing I want to say again is that those of us who have the country at heart, we have to put our hands together, so we can move as a united force instead of one or two persons going to Lufa trying to make the change. If we do not do that, we're going to have issues.
Okay.
Some of the things he spoke about in Lufa, I'm visibly seeing them based on the intervention I'm making from the health center we are constructing. This unity is a serious problem. If we want to fight for Lufa, we have to be united and we have to try our best to do that. So I will try to get his number so that after this I will call him, whatever he's doing to help, bring that unity, I can be a part of it. Thank you so much for the show.
Many thanks, many thanks. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Patrick calling from Mount Bagwe.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the show. Thank you to all Cyrus. Yeah, we have suffered in the past pertaining this security situation. We work with security, private security before we have suffered. So I'm just urging the honorable there institute to work alongside with fellow police so they can be able to pass a national commission body to regulate the private security in Liberia. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Many thanks. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, it's only so much.
Yes, sir.
There's a point that
Hello?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be audible now, please.
There's a point that was only you and my restaurant. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Gustavo, for that wonderful voice. People to God. Don't get it, just keep covering, and then continue to do good things for the people of local country. What Senate means, just continue. Don't give the education. I hear you mention about, local country issues, okay, for the Goa and the Upper Local. Yes, I would take an example, what happened with our consulate, brought Dago, campaign for Dago, election. Dago now dance out for ya, do a local, dance out, most of them, all the duty they do for your man to be specific or something. But now, this is a difference we see that nobody needs to be having their representative, and then nobody needs to be having their representative. We cannot follow the traditional trading in the country. Local country. So thank you very much. They are on the voice this morning.
Okay. Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sorbor George.
Yes, sir.
Well, I brought journalist. My comment is for the second time for the Ghana presidency, one of Bonkani finance. Mr. George, Mr. MOMO started doing his best, but he's not doing it the right way. The Ghana funds never found it in this place. Look how you destroy our brothers and sisters. You say you're doing a job, but the job that they are slaves. They're suffering. They're suffering, Mr. George. They don't want help. They don't want help because those jobs in the country, let them sit down and forget about us. So how will you get jobs with someone, they work for 3 months, they give them one more thing? We're here, we're seeing it. That will not how they change their way of behaving to us. We are even being in this country. If they want help us, they don't help us. If they don't want to help us, then they say they forget about us. How will provide for us, Mr. George?
Okay. He made a point. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay.
This is a issue where I think just call me MRU and I call you from Korea, County, Liberia.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I've been listening to our studio here. One of the most thank you so much. You have just said something that touches my mind. Actually, I think we need to have a section room for the security. Just what this one, I have the announcement on the radio that who enter into the office, enter into the showroom, who take the showroom. Look at all these things. You are there as the security. So I think we need to work on things because when the national operation come here, it will be very difficult to be taken together from such a department. So thank you so much. May God bless you.
Okay, many thanks. I'm sure we can go back to our studio guest to respond to those concerns and they'll wrap up with him.
Thank you, sir. But let me first address the issue of the county. Then I come to the security as you program your deliberation. Now, somebody asked whether I have rapport with the county caucus. Indeed, the people at the county, that sit at the county caucus, I'm a very personal friend. I talk to them every day. Some of them uncles, some of their brothers. We talk every day, and I've encouraged them to myself, to see Lofa in a different direction. So I am close to the county caucus. The guy from Zigida, yes, I would definitely, my normal is, if you're listening, is 0770-989-897. Take it. Let's talk about local development. Let's talk about local unification. Let's talk everything about local, the unity of local matters a whole lot. Yes, the health center is seriously challenged in local. We need to work on the health center, but people are suffering. Let's talk about that. The fellow from Zigida Health Center, thank you so much. With my niece Cyrus, I have your number. I'm going to call you. Off the phone. Off the program. We'll talk. I will see what your problems are. I will contribute my little support as I've been doing, to help you with whatever I can help you with. Now, to talk about the security, which is very key. Let me start with the issue of the guys from Buchanan who said that we are giving forced labor. You see, it's against this background I'm sitting here and talking on studio. A lot of people don't understand what happened with the security companies that is being hired to provide services for these organizations. 85% of the time, I'm not saying the management cannot be held liable. For me, I've been in the system for 17 years, and we have grown. And it is now our business to ensure that people are in bad labor practice. We are not going to do that. That's not in our DNA. But some of the contracts, the arrangement of the contract, it's such a way that it embarrasses us as contract holders to our employees. That's why I said when these regulatory bodies are set up, 3% will enjoy, the employees will enjoy, because under that particular contract, there will be what is supposed to be a portion to the security guy and how it should be done, and the regulatory body can monitor that contract. Just in case, if it doesn't go well, the body can call you for questioning and query, right? But that is not happening. That's why we're pushing, because I'm pushing because I am being victimized of this situation where our companies is being maltreated or treated like nothing. So I am a victim of it. So he may not understand what is obtaining, but the truth of the matter is that private security has not been treated fairly by the very clients that we work for, considering that we are not standardized. So it's good that people who are listening, who are policy makers, are listening, and it's about time now. Because the guy who talk about 12-hour shift, for God's sake. You allow somebody to work for 12 hours, and then sometimes somebody that will not even have a day off. This is very unfair. Look, if a man works for 12 hours, after 8 hours, he's exhausted. He's just a body standing over there with no substance. So 12-hour shift should be discouraged. But how do we do these things if we don't have regulations? How? The Ministry of Justice is not looking at these things. They're not regulating these things. They don't even care about these kind of arrangements, right? So the companies hire somebody and just jump them somewhere and do whatever they want to do to them, and they're not reprimanded for whatever it is. So this guy suffers because he has to make a living, so he has to induce that pay. So the 12-hour shift is something that I've advocated against, and in fact, I've advocated for day off, which is a relief day. Some officers are working for a day off. They work for 7 days a week and work for 12 hours. That's humiliating. Yes. These are the things that policies make come under my voice. You see that, look, our people are suffering. This particular sector is a $1 million sector, but we're not benefiting because the way it's not regulated. We are losing resources because the clients are not giving us what we need. So, the guy who talk about, security, like I talk about security guys suffering, is all involved. To summarize, it is just about time for national government to see the private sector as a partner. And we sit and have a conversation around the table, bringing some of these issues out, and then discussing it. Look, so private security get wounded on site, they lie down and die. There's no care. Because the contract does not cover insurance, does not cover social security. The client does not even have the money to take the person to the hospital based on the way the contract is being structured. So, all in all, I do understand people who are frustrated. Myself, sitting in the studio, I'm very frustrated, right? I am very frustrated about the way private security is being treated, and that's why we're bringing these discussions at the feet of national government, at the feet of policymakers, at the feet of our legislature, at the feet of everybody who feels that what we're saying here makes sense. Let's have a discussion and start from somewhere. Other countries have done it. I was in Kigali. I had a story. The people told me they had a similar problem. They had to talk. They have to ask. They have to speak. They have to create a situation where the government listens to them and they're benefiting from the organization that called the Private Security Association of Uganda that is being standardized through regulatory bodies.
Mr. Momo CYRUS, we'd like to thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to appear here today.
Thank you so much, Sorbor. And like I've always said, EFBC is a national station where open us to everybody. Listen, we call us for people to listen to us, our policy issues. We want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. We will always come back when we are invited to speak on national issues. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for your listening role. And let me say thank you too to the team, Anthony Williams and his camera team that been here, along with my indefatigable, illustrious and hardworking producer, the man Melvin Stewart, Sorbor